What up? We are live once again. It's episode 43. It's another Tuesday. You know what that means? Time for Comic Conversation. I'm Jesse. I'm here with Justin. And we have half the panel right now. Hopefully, Edwin will be along in a moment, a few minutes. Chris is still out tending to family issues, so we'll be rolling three deep tonight. But we got some really great topics to talk about. Star Wars stuff, Wonder Woman, obviously, that came out. I don't know if you guys saw the Gotham finale, but I definitely want to talk about that. And of course, some new books. We've got a lot of great stuff coming out tomorrow, so we're going to cover that as well. But last week, various people on the panel had things to do. So Lords of the Long Box joined us, that crew. That was a lot of fun. But what that means for today is we got a couple weeks to catch up. I know, Justin, you were having a lot of fun last Tuesday. So you want to catch us up on what you were doing and let us know.
Yeah. I was, I'll say what's up to everybody in the chat already. How's it going, everybody? Keep it going quick for us. I was at WWE SmackDown with my nephew. That was good times. We go most of the time when they come. But yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. Like, you know, they put on a good show, whether or not you like the story they present. Yeah. They do it in a fun manner, you know. And it's you know, it's a crowd thing, so you can't help but get into it with everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's infectious.
People that are there that never watch it and aren't fans will get up and start screaming and yelling and, you know, stuff. So it's just a fun environment.
Yeah, awesome. From the pictures you posted, it looked like you were pretty close, aren't you?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
We have found we've gone so many times, we've found the optimal place to sit. And it's either front row, which gets ridiculously pricey, or you sit like a couple rows up off the floor. That way you can see over everybody that stands up.
That's smart.
So if you're sitting on the floor, it's fun, but in order to see anything, you have to stand up the whole time.
Yeah. So are you team red? I see you put red on there. Or are you team blue?
Man.
You a SmackDown guy or are you a Monday Night Raw guy?
When they did the split, I liked SmackDown more. But now I'm kind of like, man, I'm both.
Okay. That's very diplomatic of you.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed SmackDown when they first started it, but through injuries and other things like that, their storylines had to change. Same thing with Raw, really. But
yeah, like Braun Strowman, right? They said he had the elbow injury, the shoulder injury, right? But actually, I don't know if you read any of the behind-the-scenes stuff. He actually did have a surgery, but it was on the other arm. So for the storyline, like he was smacking him, Roman was smacking him in the shoulder with like the chair and stuff.
Right.
And that was supposedly the injury that required the surgery, but the surgery was for the other side. It was just for the story. I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, they mess up on that, and if you sit close enough, like where we were sitting, you can really see when they mess up very, very plainly. Like the cameras are able to hide it with angles and things like that.
And they do the shaky, like woo, zoom in, zoom in.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, you're talking about like them missing a kick by like a couple feet, you know, from near anybody.
Go like, yeah.
But still people react to it. You're like, what? No.
Yeah.
But, I mean, oh no, it's pretty fun. And we got if you go to SmackDown, you get SmackDown, which is the first 2 hours. You actually get a match before the live show starts. So you get a bonus match at the beginning. You get SmackDown. Then you get 205 Live.
Oh, yeah, right.
Their cruiserweight division show that's on the WWE Network. And then after that, you get a bonus match. So after everything, we got
a dark match.
Yeah, we got a dark match of Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. So
okay,
a dark championship match for not the title.
I call him Jinderoids.
Yeah,
that's a whole other story for another show.
I mean, they're doing a big push in India right now. So
yeah,
that's that's the story I'm going with.
Yeah, he left and he came back, and then he got this big push. I guess But anyways, cool. So I'm glad you had fun with that. And speaking of that, I actually have it on. I'm using my laptop right now, and you can see like probably colors changing behind me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my TV. I got it on right now. AJ Styles is coming down.
Nice.
So if you see
Hometown
me
boy.
like
They went
react to
for it last
something,
week.
if you see me have a reaction that has absolutely nothing to do with what anybody said on the show, it's probably because I was looking at the TV. Just putting that out there. All right.
Let me grab the dog 1 second.
All right. So I actually, been doing my normal collecting thing, and today I got a book. I was looking forward to it. The reason why I was particularly excited for this book was because it's part somebody in a channel, a group, and a particular person, Dark Avenger C86, who made a book through Last Ember Press, which is through one of the comic frontline folks, Brant. Right, they have Last Ember Press. We did a review for Comic Booked as well. Was it Ian who did it, or do you remember offhand? You're on mute, by the way.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay.
What we put up was the promo piece that came out from Jay promoting it.
Yeah.
We also have a. They were nice enough to send us a PDF of it, so I've read that and I'm gonna do a review of it. It's just not up yet.
Okay, right on.
Unless you want to go ahead, unless you want to do it, you can do it.
Well, I'm not gonna give any type of spoilers right now because it just came out. I want to give people a chance to read it and have the unveilings and reveals and surprises. You know, so I think that's fair. But I still want to say I did get 2 copies. So I got them in the mail today, which is this. Actually, let me put that down. That's the backing board. This is the book. I did a live unboxing earlier for this.
Right.
And one of these, if you remember, was a contest. Right? We did a contest for the trivia.
Yep.
And Adam, Comically Flawed, actually won a copy. So even though I have 2 copies, one of these is his. So this is your prize, or this one, whichever one is. They're both really high grade.
Lower grade.
Yeah. Get the 9.6. I'm keeping the 9.8. They're both really high grade. But I was saying when I did the unboxing, like I took it out. It's got like a really nice thicker paperweight, the heavier cardstock versus the interior pages, which gives it like a really quality, weighty feel to the book. It's something that really sets it apart from like even Marvel, right? They use like the same paperweight as the interiors. So I really like that. The story was really cool. It flowed nicely, really great pacing. The setup in the beginning was excellent. I thought that it really kind of let you learn who these characters were, and the group, the friends, even the family with the brother, the mother too, enough to where you got to the action piece that you like really cared what happened to them, right? And then like you were surprised when they were figuring things out about themselves. See, I'm trying to be vague here.
Right.
So
good job.
Yeah. And once it got to that point, you were like really bought into them and bought into the story. So it was good timing for where they put that, and I thought it was really nicely placed. And then there was definitely a cliffhanger at the end of this issue that really compels you to want to read number 2 pretty quickly. So all in all, I thought it was a really great story. It's the first issue, obviously, so great intro to the world, setting it up, intro to the characters. So hats off to Chris, Brant, Lucas, and Lisa. I think they did a really great job with this. So yeah, we do have Jay, Philly Superman, in the chat, and he is actually the I believe his title is the social media director for Last Ember Press. He knows the story. He read it, obviously. He knows the production side of it as well as the book itself. So if anybody in the chat has any questions, and then also Jay, if you don't mind putting I don't know if you can shoot. If you can try to put a link to the Etsy page so people can go and check it out if they want to buy it. If not, worst case, what I'll do is put that in the description afterwards.
Yeah, or send it to me, Jay, or something. I'll paste it in there if it won't let you.
Yeah, or like put a space, like instead of .com, actually write out like .dot space com, right? That might
maybe
have it not recognized it as a link, right?
I wouldn't just name odd.
Yeah. So anyways, great story, great book. I highly recommend it. Definitely check them out. And I wanted to make a point to, talk about that for a book. So wait. I'm reading the chat. So we have Comically Flawed here, of course. Philly Superman, I just mentioned. Lord Tatman just got here. Nice for you to join us. NLC as well. I know Blackpool was here with me before we started. We also have Tom Backwoods, White Mountain Comics is here. And I think we have somebody else. I saw Jeff Johnson stopped in as well. Hope you're still here with us. If not, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, that was basically my update. I wanted to share that book. And, you know, I said that after the unboxing that I wanted to just give some thoughts on it and stuff without spoiling it once we got to the show. So that is that. And then
also staying on Celestial Falcon there, like for a completely independent book, the quality is super, super high. So like, don't be afraid of it thinking like, you're able to look at some of the preview pages, I believe, on the Etsy page. Like, it's a good, solid book. This would be coming out from any independent company that you would buy from at your local shop. So,
yeah, exactly. For sure. And I was talking about, you know, the cover, the front and the back, but the interior pages too are like a nice glossy sort of feel. You know what I mean? Like you can tell they spent money on those pages. Whereas I've had plenty of other indie books in my hands, and not to knock them, but the paper quality is not, you know, you can tell they use some cost cutting.
Right. You're like, yeah. They saved money. The cover was really nice, but the interior, they saved the money there.
Yeah, exactly. So with this though, it didn't. It still had that nice, you know, quality glossy feel.
Right.
So yeah. All right. So the next thing we were going to talk about was, you know, we always talk about like, you know, the comic books and the movies and everything. And I was kind of looking up some things to, you know, the topics for tonight. And I came across, there's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's like a glow-in-the-dark Snoke for Funko.
Oh, nice.
Right? It sounds really cool, right? So I got to thinking, like, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but like, what other things do you collect or kind of do in our world? Like, I know you've talked about the Marvel Legends, you've referred to like D&D and stuff, but like, what else, besides the comics, are you sort of into in your nerd world, let's call it?
I mean, Funkos.
Yeah.
Got those going on. I have way too many, and most of them probably need to be sold. But I just opened this one the other day because I noticed that the package, like all of like the glue or everything, had just come undone. So the package was just like, if nothing was pushing against it, it was just open. So cool, Wolverine.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, Funkos, and I've tried to cut down, you know, on that kind of thing. But
Funkos are easy to suddenly realize you have way too many of, you know.
Right. And yeah, Funkos, Marvel Legends, that's really about it. Like, I try to stay away from. I haven't ventured into statues yet.
Okay. Yeah.
That's some. I mean, there are some I want to get. I just haven't pulled the trigger on any of them yet, I guess.
Yeah.
Another thing though is the Marvel chess pieces.
Right.
I've been getting those. I think I have 7 so far. Mostly street level characters and some of their villains. Like I have Daredevil and Bullseye, have Nova, Elektra, things like that. Because that's the same price or less than a Marvel Legend.
Right, and they're like they're metal, aren't they?
No, let me grab one. I think they are over here somewhere. Yep. Ooh. Stay.
Yeah.
Just stay. All right, we'll put it here.
It stacks.
Man, you know, I finally got everything bagged and boarded recently. That's like a major accomplishment. Like currently,
I ran out of bags, so I gotta get some more.
Yeah, I went one weekend and just bought an extra set of bags and boards just to have them, and now they're about gone.
Comically Flawed says he collects butter knives.
Butter knives?
No, I'm just kidding. Pocket knives.
Let's see.
Wait, no, he doesn't. Oh wait, he was messing with. Okay, wait, does he? I don't know. I can't tell. Are you joking, Adam, or are you serious? Because now you're talking about Swiss Army knives, so I'm confused.
He collects a lot of different knives.
Okay.
But here's Daredevil. So it's not metal.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty decent plastic. Like, I feel like you could drop it. It can fall and not be damaged. So But I like these. I mean, like I said, they're also pretty cheap. So eventually, I will have a whole chess set, but it may not be all Marvel. I may mix in some Marvel and DC. That would be more fun.
Yeah, I seen them at my shop, but they have them in a glass case, so I can't, walking past them and everything. That's why I thought they were maybe metal because I haven't had the chance to hold one of those. But I definitely there's some statues that I want to get. There's one shop I know I mentioned to you guys, the Lauderdale Comics. I've done a couple store tours of it, and they have like the amazing statues, and they have what would you call it? Like when you go to a gallery, the gallery lighting, the overhead. It's like meant to like highlight the way they have it set up. It like really makes the statues look amazing. They have a whole bunch, anything from, they have the DC collectibles, the Marvel Legends, the Kodo, Bukia artifacts, all the way up to the sideshow stuff. The $300, $400, $500 statues.
My shop hits you right when you walk in the door. Like you walk in the door, and there's a case on each side of the door with statues.
Yeah. Yeah, they have it like ringed around the edge of it with like the shelves and then the museum type of lighting. So it's pretty cool.
It's dramatic lighting.
It is. It really like, especially some of the ones like there's one for the Wasp. It's the Bashoju one where she's got like her leg kicked up, but the way they have the lighting with their wings in the background, it like makes them look like they're like lit up, like the wings themselves. So I don't know. It's cool how they did it.
Nice.
Yeah. So how about like cards or TCGs or whatever? Not TCGs or TTGs, trading card games or any type of tabletop gaming.
I have some Magic cards, but I don't have anybody to play with.
You could be really sad to like have two decks and like run to each side of the table and like.
Yeah, I just bought like I think there was a sale at Walmart when I was in line one day for like a couple decks for like $20 or something. So I was like, I'll check out the newest one, see what it's about. But no, I like board games. I have a ton of board games. Like I have Talisman, so like kind of like the RPG-ish board games. Those are fun. I think I have 4 or 5 different sets of Risk throughout time.
Nice.
I have the original one that's just like metal Roman numerals.
Sweet.
All the way up.
Have you ever played Warhammer or seen that?
No, I've watched people play it.
Yeah.
I've thought about it, and then my wallet said, "Don't do it."
Yeah. There's a whole store here dedicated just to like Warhammer and like all the stuff you can buy for it with the maps and everything. And they have like those giant map in the middle where they have, games and stuff. It looks crazy. It looks pretty cool, but that's not anything that I want to get into right now. But if I did, I would sure have a blast.
There's a couple hobby stores up here that have rooms dedicated to that. So they just have these big tables with like terrain and stuff set up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's nuts. But a buddy of mine, when we were thinking about this, we also, not to diss this at all, I think it's an amazing thing. The detail that goes into it is nuts. But really, if you wanted to play the game, you could just buy the book and then paint symbols on pennies and use it.
That's true. Like chess pieces or checkers pieces instead of chess pieces.
You really wanted to play the game without buying into all the miniatures.
Yeah. You know who does really good with the miniatures? There's a YouTube channel, and I know you know who it is. It is, oh God, I just forgot his YouTube channel name.
Remember Porkins.
Thank you. He does the Star Wars ones especially. He was showing one, he did an update, and he showed a really cool
Stormtrooper?
Stormtrooper, yeah. Looked like, I didn't get a too close of a look at it, but it looked like it was pretty well done. Pretty detailed with it. So
yeah, a lot of detail. Like it looked like there was like weathering or battle damage or something too.
Yeah, cool. I think he has a lot of fun with that, and that was, I think, from what I understand, his like first foray into this. That was like his first real hobby, and then it kind of blew up from there to, well, everything else.
Right.
As it does for all of us. But do you have Shogun, Watchman's Comics? Thanks for being here. He was asking about Shogun.
Shogun. What's Shogun?
Your response will say no. He does not have that. I'm not familiar with it either, to be honest with you. But I imagine it's a Shogun Warrior type of game, perhaps.
I don't know, man. I really like that anime back in the
Yeah.
day. Or no, I'm thinking of Ronin Warriors. Sorry, not
Oh.
Shogun Warriors. Never mind. So no, I don't know what Shogun is. Maybe it's a board game, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I mean, and like you said, I like to play D&D, but it's such a large time commitment that my group might get together like twice a year.
Yeah, that's fun. We used to, like, back in the day when I was I don't know, single digit age, 12, whatever. We would always do like role playing scenarios, like going through it, like it was a lot of fun. So same idea with that. I'm sure a lot of people did that, but then you had to like figure out how to get out of the situation. It was cool. But in the D&D world, like you'd run into dragons and goblins and stuff. So I do not like Mojo. Sorry, do not like that guy.
Or Mojo Raleigh.
Yeah. But all right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is Star Wars. There was a couple things recently with it. There was some updates in terms of some of the new characters we're going to see for The Last Jedi. Like the Emperor had the Crimson Guard, I think it was called, right? Now they're getting an update. They're going to have some energy weapons now. Right, like it's the same. It's a very similar type of crystal that's used as the lightsabers. Less powerful, of course, but it gives them like an energy blade. They have knives, swords. They have like
energy staffs.
Yeah, staff. It's like I don't know what you call it, but it has a blade on the end of it, right? So then these are going to be called, and I had to write it down because I knew I'd forget. Elite Praetorian is what they're going to be called now. So that's pretty cool. And then there's a new Scout Trooper as well. There were some images were put up for the Scout Trooper.
Sweet. So the Funko Pops are on their way. Is what you're saying?
Exactly. The timing with the Snoke thing and everything. That's the whole marketing machine, like firing up the engines and getting ready. You know what I mean? So I think as it gets through the summer here, we're going to be seeing it. The vibro blades, exactly. We're going to be seeing a lot more of this type of stuff. So, I mean, it was kind of obvious that they're going to have, stormtroopers in the movie. Maybe not specifically the Scout Troopers, but it's cool to just see that, slightly updated look for them. So there was that. And then sort of tied into that, there's a place that I would call heaven, but it is referred by the owner as, oh God, what is it called? It is referred as, I wrote it down too. Oh my God, I'm failing. It is called Rancho Obi-Wan, and it was robbed. It's the largest private collection, or maybe was, the largest private collection of Star Wars memorabilia, all the vintage stuff up to the recent stuff. They stole like 100 items, and they were like, the appraisal for it was about $200,000 for everything. So pretty wild that everything was stolen. I don't know how they would have broken in, but if you look at it, it's like, set up like a museum. I don't know if it is. I'm sure it is a museum you can visit.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be easy for people to spot that on the black market because there's not a ton of that going around.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a lot of people hold on to that stuff right now. At least they would be holding on to it until like December.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, like, some of that stuff is not a lot of it left. Like some of the original, like the 12 card figures, or even like the thing before Star Wars, that little cardboard type of thing that they had that you could set, like the pre-order thing. Like stuff like that, you just can't find that anymore. So.
Well, right, and I'm sure he was, he had like T-shirts and movie posters and like stuff, like random stuff that you wouldn't even think about that just said Star Wars on it. That at this point was like a one of, except for stuff in a museum.
Yeah. So I hope they find the person. I'm sure if you guys see stuff on YouTube, maybe, or not YouTube, on like Craigslist, maybe you should do a double take. Yeah. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I was okay. You answered him. Yeah. NLC said he gave up on figure collecting. A lot of people still do the comic collectors did in the 90s for figures. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I lost some. I don't know where they went, if I gave them away, but I had all the Wildcats, man. Like the original, like the Wildcats figures.
You mean like covert action team people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Jim Lee's Wildcats.
Okay.
I had them all and still in the packages, and they were perfect. And I have no clue what happened to them over time.
Oh god.
It's very sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Not
sad
that
stuff.
they're worth anything now at all. I was just like, it would be nice to still have them.
Yeah, it'd be worth it to you, you know.
Like all the Spawn action figures that are gone now.
Yeah, I saw Angela actually at the store, still on the card.
Oh, the new one? I have the.
No, it was like original.
I have the Marvel Legend one. That just
Yeah. No, this was a image on the label and stuff.
I should get that one to go with that one.
Yeah. I'll see how much it is when I'm there next.
Cool.
Uh-oh.
What?
Freaking Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal.
With his belt on. He looks so angry.
They purposely like make him look tall. Like they have him with two short guys, and then whatever match he's in, they bring out their shortest referee.
Yeah, and look at his wrestling shoes. They're like platform wrestling shoes.
I'm not watching.
The two guys with him, right? Yeah.
They were a tag team that sucked.
No wonder they're just supporting characters now. Oh well. All right, so we're going to talk about, I guess, the Dark Universe.
The gender.
Are you looking forward to seeing that, the monsters? Well, actually, I mean, it kind of is relevant right now because we have The Mummy coming out this week, which is supposed to be like the kickoff for it, right?
And then Russell Crowe is going to be our character that's in all the movies.
Yeah, he's the Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, and his Prodigium company is going to be like, connecting everything. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to go see it. They were talking about what was that movie called? There was a movie, Dracula Untold, which was like sort of a couple years back, and that was rumored to have been what they wanted to be the start for the new universe, but it didn't do very well. So they're going to bring Dracula back. They haven't announced him in this new universe yet. I mean, it's inevitable that they will, but there are some people saying that what's-his-face might be reprise his role, So that's just something that they put out there. No, I don't remember his name. The guy who played Dracula.
Gary Oldman?
No, it wasn't Gary Oldman.
And Bram Stoker's Dracula?
No. It was a guy with like... God, I wish I knew his name. Let me see if I can look it up. But there was something else I wanted to mention with it too. They call it the Dark Universe, but Warner Brothers, that's supposed to be the name of the live-action Justice League Dark movie that they've had kind of in the works for a few years. So there's talk of Warner Brothers considering suing Universal over the name. So...
Well, they're using it differently because they're going to use Justice League Dark Universe as a title of a film.
Luke Evans.
Dark Universe for the other companies being used to describe like 6 films.
Mm-hmm.
So it's none of those films are going to be titled Dark Universe, are they? I don't think so.
I don't know. Luke Evans I was talking about. Do you know that guy?
What Dracula was he?
Dracula Untold.
Oh.
He played Vlad. 2014 came out.
Maybe.
23% on Rotten Tomatoes. It really wasn't. Let me see. Maybe I'll recognize the poster if I hold it up.
Wait, was that the one with what's her name? Oh, yeah.
See it?
Yeah.
You can see the match too in the background.
Yeah. They might as well just use him. If it's the same company, they might as well just use it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool movie, but it didn't do well. Like I said, 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. Right. Not good.
Probably did well in Europe.
Yeah, right. And then the third kind of piece of the puzzle, they added Hunchback of Notre Dame, and they added Phantom of the Opera. So we're gonna get those as well, along with the others.
I think that's reaching.
Yeah, that may be
I could see
phase
Phantom of
2
the
type of
Opera.
thing.
Well, I could see Phantom of the Opera maybe more so than the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just seems like a stretch for me.
maybe there's like an opera house in Notre Dame,
Right?
where the Hunchback lives there up in the tower.
Right. But what are they going to do with the Phantom? Like, he's not going to leave the opera. Like he stays there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna kind of break him out of there. Yeah, we're gonna. Adam asked, "Are we gonna do the numbers for the Wonder Woman opening?" Yes, we are. Absolutely. We're gonna get to that actually in a second. I have them all written down. I know last time I forgot some of them, but yeah, I have them here. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I know Chris. He's not here to defend himself, but he was so adamant that this movie was gonna tank.
Really? Yeah, he was.
He was like, "Nope, it's gonna be." And then Edwin was all about, "Nope, we don't want to see or people don't want to see a female superhero." He actually said, I remember him saying this, most people want to see guys with muscles like Colossus. Edwin's words, not mine. So, yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. All right. But did you see the Gotham finale?
I did not.
Okay.
But feel free to talk about it. Don't worry about spoiling it for me. Because
Okay.
I'll watch it. I know for whatever reason, Gotham and me, I'm a binge watch with that. So as soon as it hits Netflix, I'll watch it all.
All right, yeah. I didn't see, to be perfectly honest with you, a whole lot of the season. I just saw a couple episodes here and there. This was a 2-hour finale, though, and the reason I wanted to watch it was because Mazuz, who plays Batman, and I think some of the showrunners, or one of the showrunners, was saying that Harley Quinn was going to be in the 2-hour finale. So that was kind of one of my motivations for watching that. But it was really cool. There were a couple like holy shit type of moments. I really don't want to spoil it if nobody saw it. Shoot. But there were a lot of characters, a lot of villains that showed up. There was a huge surprise with one of the villains, that this guy who's been there for a while, and suddenly we learned his real name through his medical papers. And you get to realize that he is this villain that everybody knows.
So, I mean, how do you feel about them setting like all the villains to be like 10 years older than Batman?
I think that it will be an interesting thing to explore for their world, because they're going to have 10 years of experience over Batman. That's going to be something else he's going to have to try to overcome. You know, their experience versus like he's kind of like getting into like his year one sort of phase, right? Very inexperienced.
Yeah, he's in like year -5.
Yeah. So with this show, basically, I mean, he learned a lot from Alfred. He learned a lot from, a couple of people. So he's not going to be, I believe, going off for like 10, 15 years to train with the League of Assassins or League of Shadows. So, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but like next season or whatever, I think we're going to be getting into like a year one type of story with him becoming Batman and learning what that means for himself and like, how to do it and how not to, well, he'll probably screw up a lot. That's the good way to learn, right?
I saw a fun fan theory that this was Earth 3. So this is Owlman instead of Batman. So this is the origin of Owlman.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. And I think that they're talking about Scarecrow being like the big baddie for next season. So that should be cool. Yeah. And then in terms of the Harley Quinn thing, she wasn't overtly in it. I'll just come out and say that right now. But I think that she might have been, and there's two possibilities. Barbara Keene, you know who that is for the show? Okay. She has the look, obviously. She met the Joker when they were in Arkham together. She has a club in Gotham called Sirens, right? Sirens, Gotham City Sirens. And she's a villain, of course. So there's Barbara Keene as a possibility. But then you also have Dr. Lee Tompkins. Think about Lee, like Harley. She's already a doctor. She went away at the end of this, so maybe she goes off and meets like a Mr. Quinn or something. And when we meet her again, she is Lee Quinn or Harley Quinn.
Right. Or maybe she didn't go off. Maybe she got kidnapped.
Yeah. But my money is on Barbara. And Deadpool, look at what's that, man? He agrees with me. Something happens with her that everybody thinks that she may not be back. But as we know, in these worlds, people come back. If you kind of catch my drift there. So maybe her sort of that coming back piece is her kind of being reborn as Harley. So in my mind, there's either Lee Tompkins or Barbara Keene, but I'm still leaning towards Barbara being Harley. So,
I would also bet Barbara.
Yeah. And she's been around for a while too. Like they've been building her story for a few seasons.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest like character switches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen in recent, like she was a dead on like normal good character, and then nope.
Yeah. Now she's like black leather miniskirt evil, and that's saying something.
I mean, yeah, that works. Works.
But
I mean, I'm a fan of Killer Frost, so you know.
Yeah. I think she's supposed to be in one of the upcoming movies for DC.
So they're like, we're just gonna use the Flash people stuff, but use different people in the movies.
That's right.
Like they're not gonna have a Green Arrow and have it be somebody different. Like, you know, like Supergirl's not showing up yet, so but we want to use these Flash characters.
Yeah. Anybody who's not a speedster, we want them. Yeah, so you saw like the development for the Riddler. He finally puts on like the green, right? I haven't seen that yet. And who just said it? NLC talked about Freeze, saying he has a weird hairstyle. Yeah, so yeah, it was cool how like the villains, they had put Freeze and Firebug together. So it was like the fire and ice type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you should cancel each other out. Stay over there.
That's right. Take them off the board. And then Catwoman, of course, she's a big villain in this, and you got the whole thing, the whole weird, awkward type of story with Penguin and Riddler. They're still playing that along. So, and then another lady came back. There was another lady.
Huh?
There was another lady from like the first season who you'll see again. I won't say her name, but you can probably figure it out.
Is she the one that always comes back?
It rhymes with dish.
Yeah. Yeah. The character that, like, one of the only characters that they just completely made up for this series.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not in any books whatsoever.
That's right.
You know, at least not before. I don't know if somebody's added her in now. Not thinking, but
I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. She's completely unique to the show.
Mm-hmm. So because of that, they can do whatever they want, and they have like changed her a lot.
Yeah. Maybe she'll be Harley. No, I doubt it. Still going with Barbara.
Yep.
Yeah. Deadpool says the only villains that are around Bruce's age are Catwoman and Scarecrow. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, obviously, I don't know how I forgot. Like the whole plot revolved around Teach Jarvis. What's his name? Mad Hatter.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to see a lot of him there too. He has a virus that they release into the city. So the story is about people trying to get the virus, use it over other people because it makes you like really strong, and also stop it from being spread around Gotham. And in the story, Bruce is being mind controlled. So it's kind of like them having to find Bruce and stop him in time, but also try to save other people like Jim. And Alfred has got his own issues going on where he needed to go to the hospital. And then you see somebody with a big pool and some ninjas with him.
Ninjas?
Yes. So I'm giving you a lot of things to go off of there. You can connect the pieces.
Sweet. I have a whole season to build up to ninjas.
Yes. Cool ninjas with cool swords.
Nice.
But not vibro blades.
Oh.
All right. So let's go ahead. Since you didn't see it, I think that's good enough topic on that. If I start saying any more, I'm going to start spoiling the hell out of it.
And then he said this, and then he said this, and she did that.
Yeah, I'm going to go into incredible detail for the whole episode. Yeah. So we're going to talk about Wonder Woman. You saw it. Please tell me you saw it.
I did.
Okay, good. All right. So before we get into it, let's run through the numbers that we did. About a month ago, we did some numbers. And right at that time, the estimate for domestic opening weekend was 83 million, which is pretty good, right? Yeah. They kept upping it as, reviews came in and, ratings came back, went up to 93, went up to 95, So there were some people who lowballed big time.
Lowballers.
And one person.
Non-believers.
Yes, that's right. So you guessed, actually, you were pretty close. You guessed 101 million. It came in at 103 million. So you were actually the closest. So you win this contest. You got this one. I came in at 90 million, and I had said at the time that I always lowball on these estimates. So I kind of went with the 83 million thing, and then kind of went above that, but I still didn't get it. And then we were talking about Chris. He came in at 77 million. He was so adamant that this movie was going to flop. He was like, this movie is not going to do good.
Stupid. This is
yeah. I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to suck. Edwin came right in at the estimate, which was 83. Yeah, you win the Marvel No Prize.
Yay.
Comically Flawed actually had 1 million higher than I did, 91 million. Deadpoolica was the second closest. Deadpoolica Instagram, he's here with us in the chat. He actually guessed 100 million. So you guys were really close. We had Rag718 with us, 88 million. He was going with the Back to the Future number. And then Ramiro Gomez was being generous, but not as generous as Jason Smith. He said 125 million. And then Jason, I told him I was holding him to this. He said 3 trillion.
3 trillion.
Yeah, he overshot that by just a little bit. So
in a couple 100 years, it might have made that much.
That's right. Once we're on like 50K, Blu-rays or whatever they're called at the time. So yeah, so it actually came in. That was the weekend. So Monday came in the numbers. It's from yesterday, obviously. 11.7 million. It still did on a Monday, and that was actually the second best superhero opening ever.
Nice. For
a Monday. That not opening, but a Monday right after domestic. Right after the opening weekend. The only it was Man of Steel. It did about 12 million. So it was really close.
We probably have to go back and look at that weekend. I bet it was like a holiday and everybody was off that Monday.
Yeah, probably. Maybe that was the holiday we just had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my whole kind of theory around not the only reason, but a big influence for it was Guardians. We all went to see it, right? We all thought awesome, amazing. And then you had the holiday come up, and then you had movies like Baywatch, and then the other one that. Can't remember the name of it.
You had like Baywatch and
Aliens. Yeah. And nobody saw it because we all went to see movies the weekend before. We all went to see Guardians, right? Yep. We were all out, with the family stuff. So nobody went. So then this movie comes out the week after. Everybody's ready to go back to the movies. And what do we have? Another, in-genre movie to go see. So I think that, skip there, that jump really helped impact the numbers. It did do well. Okay. It did all told about $220-something million. That's an absolute number. That's not all the money that, WB, the studio, gets back, right? The theaters take a lot out. The distributors take a lot out. There's a lot of cost involved in that. There's like $150 million budget. And then there was another like 50 to, I would say, like $80 million for P&A. You know what P&A is? It's the prints and advertising.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
all the like marketing costs and then making the reels or putting together the digital copies to send to the distributor to send out to the theaters, which isn't like comparatively speaking like a huge cost to them, but it's still a big factor in that. But I mean, because of all that, and then the money that they don't get back right away, they have to probably be around like 350 million before they say it's a success, right?
And I think that movie's going to get there easily, like in the next weekend or two,
Yeah,
because we don't have any other of this type of movie coming out in the next couple weeks.
until July.
When's Homecoming? Yeah,
July.
right.
Yeah.
So it's got a full month of Wonder Woman just being in the theater and it being the only superhero film. And I feel like this is a movie that a lot of people are going to go see twice.
Yeah, I'll see it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go see it again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, do you want to spoil it? Should we spoil it? I think enough people have seen it. I did a spoiler review, so I felt comfortable enough then to.
I think most people that are going to see it have already seen it.
Yeah. All right.
In here anyway.
Yeah,
Ares is not who you think it is.
yeah. That whole double switch that they could have done without that. To be honest with you, I think Ludendorff. Oh yeah, we're doing spoilers, right? Spoiler. I think Ludendorff should have been the villain all the way through. I think that whole double switch with that wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And I said in my review, the guy who actually is Ares, I cannot shake him. I guess he's typecast in my mind as that guy from Harry Potter.
Yep.
Harry Potter werewolf. You have Ares, the god of war, and he's like played by this Harry Potter guy. I don't know.
Yeah. that would be my only since we're spoiling, that would be my only issue, I guess, with him is or not even really with him. It was just like the CGI of him as Ares.
Yeah.
His head on that other body.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of cool, like how he like pulled the armor from like the mechanized vehicles and like drew the cutouts for the helmet. But like you're saying, like there was that whole third act, man. There was way too much CGI for it, and like as much as they kind of like broke the mold in a bunch of ways for the movie and like the DC formula, they really kind of fell back on that big time with the third act.
I will also say that the trailers that they put out for this film do not show half of what happens in this, and that was actually pretty refreshing because like we've seen trailers that just ruin the whole movie. There's all kinds of stuff that happens in this movie that you do not see in the trailer. Yeah. So characters die way sooner than you think they will.
Yeah, that's true. Or right when you start to care about them.
Yeah, something. Right. That's a good time for them to die.
Yeah, I guess that's set you up and knock you down, right? That's the whole roller coaster ride with the movies. But
overall, I think this was a big step in the right direction for DC. Like if they can kind of like continue, like the kind of feel and how, I don't know, it felt like a Wonder Woman movie. And I mean, I've read, I guess, as much Wonder Woman as anybody who doesn't really read Wonder Woman just because she's in a whole bunch of DC books.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like the character to me.
Mm-hmm. It really brought back, they've been promising Jeff Johns and Zack Snyder the hope and optimism, right? That, it's going to get lighter. It's, BVS was the darkest before the dawn type of thing, right? And I feel like this was the start of that, the start of it actually being good, right? It's kind of almost like the start of the DCEU kind of moving forward. I think it'll be like the first movie that really gives us a different look and feel and tone for what they're going for. And I know that Jackio, he said it doesn't make up for all the rest of the horrible movies. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. But I think that moving forward, if this movie is any indication of what we have to expect, then I think that we're in for, some good movies coming up. And I see that Strictly Comics is here.
Soon he will be here.
Yes. His avatar is here.
Avatar.
A lead team gets here before him.
Just trying to. I mean, I'm super pumped for a sequel now.
Yeah. So
also, wait, the favorite thing was even before the movie even started. The new DC intro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, actually, let's talk about that. Yeah. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
They had
yes, this is what it's supposed to be. I think all right, I'm ready for a superhero movie. Let's go.
Exactly. Did you notice the one that had like a ton of the characters in the background?
Mm-hmm.
The one that they featured at the beginning, did you notice the one that we have yet to see or hear any news about?
The one that could fly?
Green Lantern.
Oh, I saw Hawkman too.
Yeah, no, Green Lantern was in there.
Yep.
Like as one of the featured ones.
One of the primary.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's rumors that he's going to be, whether it's a teaser, a cameo, whatever, in Justice League. So, and people are saying that his little appearance in the intro is yet another confirmation that rumor is true.
Good. I'm good with that. It would be hilarious if they just go ahead and use Chris Pine as Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
There's like,
There's way too many Chris's. They got to find somebody with a different name.
Right.
No offense to any Chris here, but
he'll wear a mask. Wonder Woman won't think they look alike at all.
Yeah. They could use Chris Rock. No, they couldn't.
No, they couldn't.
I'm just naming Chris's.
Okay. The ghost of Chris Farley.
That would be awesome. He could look at it like Superman and just be like, "What did you do?" How's it going, Edwin?
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up?
All right. Yeah, we're just talking about Wonder Woman. So.
Oh, so I made it just in time.
Yeah. What'd you think of it? We were just talking about, kind of high level thoughts about it, and had a couple of questions from the chat. There was one that I want to get to from somebody in the chat. I gotta scroll up and find it, asking about the fight scene. So we'll get to that in a second.
They were asking if they were light or dark.
No, it was before that.
Oh.
Actually, I'm gonna scroll up because I think it was Mr. Unknown Comics guy. Right, he said, "How are the fight scenes?" Oh no, I see what you mean. Were they dark or visible? Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Well, like when she fought the main bad person, it was a little dark. I mean, you had fire and stuff behind them, but
yeah.
You talking about just dark as in cinematic wise, or dark as in like a spiritual?
Thematic?
There's two different color tones for the movie. Like you have Themyscira, and then you have Man's World.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when they get to Germany and they're like right in the trenches and in the middle. It's like very monochromatic. It's like muddy, dead trees. The camo. It's the same color.
Yeah, that was actually my favorite fight scene, where she kind of just broke out the peasants or the poor people that were pretty much starving. Like, to me, that was just like when all the bullets started flying at her and Captain America thing, put her shield up, and that was really, really cool. I didn't give a grade for the movie yet, but I don't know if you guys have done that yet.
Not yet.
But,
not here anyway.
Well, I'll wait until we wrap it up with the Wonder Woman portion. But the fight scenes in the movie all around was a lot better than my wife and I expected. Even my grandmother, who turned 80, she watched it and she was like, it was better than what she expected too. So
that's cool. A little bit off topic, but you just reminded me of something. Once when my mother and I were visiting my grandmother, we went to see the movies. We always used to take her to see the movies when she was still with us. And we went to see Iron Man 2. It was like pretty much the only thing the theater was playing. And it had this really loud, like AC/DC soundtrack, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of days later, she got pneumonia or something. Her doctor told her she got pneumonia. And she swore up and down it was because that movie was too loud. That music gave her pneummonia.
Oh my gosh. They'll do it every time.
Yeah.
But the fight scenes were great. I mean, it was, they did a little bit of Matrix, where you kind of have the slow-mo little bit, feet swipes and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
really, really cool. They actually did a really they made her look really good. I'll just say that they made her look really Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Made her look really, really good.
What was even more impressive is that she was pregnant for most of the movie.
I didn't know that.
She was wearing a green, like a green screen cap over her stomach.
I didn't notice that in the movie.
Really? Wow. I had no idea.
That's cool. We talk about the scenes. There was the scene on the beach. That was pretty crazy too. Like I think, was it Hippolyta? She was jumping around with like 3 arrows, like green arrowing the fuck out of the Germans.
Was
No, it wasn't Hippolyta. It was the aunt.
Robin Wright Penn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The general.
Yeah. Antiope.
Yeah, she did a great job. Like, I mean, most of all the Amazons, I thought, did a good job. So
Yeah. It's hard to pull off like a good scene like that, like a, you know, Roman, Greek sort of looking place and have it look good. And they were able to pull it off.
What was funny was that...
Did it remind you of 300? Did it remind you of 300 a little bit?
Maybe a little bit, just the way everything was structured. But I thought it was funny, like half of the Amazons are ladies that do CrossFit. I was at the CrossFit games over the weekend.
And whether they were throwing barrels.
Huh?
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. So like now, since the movie came out, like if you follow any of them on like Instagram, that's all they're showing is like them in Wonder Woman costumes and stuff because they can talk about it now.
Nice.
I mean, those girls are definitely in shape, man.
Did they wear them to the regionals?
No. None of them were there.
Yeah.
But it was a topic of conversation.
Yeah. So what do you think of the... Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. My wife said, why didn't they have Ronda Rousey in there? And I was like, well, she's already been beat twice, so I don't think she'd want to.
Yeah. Hey, she can beat Cheetah.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, that was crazy when Cheetah showed up. Nobody. I was lying. Trying to throw people off.
I was like, when? Where?
Yeah, I must have blanked when that happened.
I know, right?
What about the God Killer? That portion. We are doing spoilers, by the way.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what about the deal with God Killer? What did you think of that?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was a metaphor until toward the end there. One of the things that kind of threw me off, Wonder Woman, she can fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really
writing her, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
See
she gets like depowered or like superly overpowered, depending on, like he said, depending on who's writing her.
Or maybe a power that she has yet to discover.
Right.
Okay. I mean, as far as the God Killer thing, I thought it was great. I mean, she when she kind of finally realized through, of course, the antagonist that she was the God Killer. Good twist, in my opinion, to kind of throw into the film a little bit, because she kind of put a little bit too much faith maybe into the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And just put his hand up and the sword just kind of crushed going into his hand. It's almost like, you just kind of lose a little bit of faith there, and you can kind of see that in her face and the reaction. That was good. And then of course she kind of just came into her own throughout the progression of that fight, and was pretty much getting wasted. Actually, what it was what happened was with her boyfriend, what's his name? Him at the end there, really taking himself
Captain
out.
Kirk.
And
Yeah.
Captain Kirk. Yeah. Yeah, motivator for her, I'm sure. But yeah, God Killer. She's a God Killer. Maybe that's why she took out. She could really handle Doomsday in
Yeah.
Batman versus.
Right. I mean, there's that whole metaphor about, she was born from Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and then she's fighting the god of war, right? And that only like love can defeat and overpower the war and the fighting,
And she talked about that. They referenced, I think, a couple times to her origin, but it would have been really cool to see her sculpted from clay or whatever it was that they said she was sculpted from. That would have been really cool because you still relate to her more like a person, and you still think of her mom and whatnot. So just to see something like that take place, I think would have been a good big plus in my opinion, because there's not a lot of people that are really familiar with Wonder Woman. I'm not. I mean, I watched Linda Carter back in the 70s, and that's a vague memory, and she just put her hands out and would just turn into a tornado, and then she'd be Wonder Woman when she was done twisting around. Yeah, so I don't think too many people are really familiar with Wonder Woman and her whole origin and her powers and all that stuff. So that would have been a really good thing establish in my opinion.
Yeah. So here's something interesting, and I like history around kind of, comic book history and just history in general. So the guy who invented her was William Marston Moulton. I think that's how you say it. So in 1915, first of all, he would write comic books. He was a psychologist. He was a consultant for a bunch of things, and he was doing a whole variety of things. He was an inventor, and he invented this thing that tested systolic blood pressure, and it was a precursor to what we now have as the lie detector polygraph test. And it wasn't until I think 1921 when they added in respirations along with that to be what the modern polygraph is. So he the inventor of Wonder Woman, or the creator of Wonder Woman, was also the creator essentially of the polygraph, not the modern polygraph. But I thought that was interesting. But he had a wife. Her name was Elizabeth. Okay. Mm-hmm. But there was another lady named Olive Byrne, that fell in love with him. And he's like, no, I have a wife. So you have options. You can leave and never be in my life, or you can come live with us. So I know. So he lived in this house with his wife and this live-in woman named Olive. And it was his wife, like he wanted to be like, he saw how well that, Superman and Batman were doing. So he's like, well, I want to make a superhero. So his wife said, why don't you make it a woman? Base it on some of your psychology. He had a bunch of stuff around, and it kind of ties into the bondage stuff. I won't get into that now. But then he was like, okay, well, now I need to make a look for her. So he based the look on Olive, which was the other lady who was living with him. So that's kind of how, he came up with Wonder Woman. It was based on the two ladies he lived with.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's hilarious. I do recall hearing about the lasso. That it was his experience with the scene.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting how people come up with this stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff with a lot of the different creators through the years, if you kind of dig into where they started or, their inspirations for things, probably write a book on it.
Yeah. Yep. You think we're going to see the invisible jet?
Unless we already saw it. We just didn't see it. No, I think, I mean, the movie was based in World War I, right? So jet technology hadn't been invented yet, right? It wasn't until towards the end of World War II. Yeah. So
50 years away almost.
Yeah. So
real chance.
I think that, if we get to the modern times, she might have it maybe even in Justice League or in the future.
Because Batman gives it to her.
Yeah.
What is?
What?
That's how she gets it?
I'm just saying, like, that would be how they would do it, I would bet.
Probably. He's the one who makes all the military applications.
Mm-hmm.
The tumbler and all that. So that would make sense. Give her like a cloaking technology.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't get to see if she could fly.
I thought I saw it toward the end there. that very last shot where she's like this.
Yeah. Shoot, maybe that one. Yeah.
They did the whole.
Because she never went down and never stopped. She just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
She could jump really far.
Right.
We know that. With a little like push from the shield up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she was. So I mean, that's just they could do a progression of it because that's. I mean, think about it. That's what Superman was when he started out in the comics. He couldn't fly. He jumped.
That's true. Even with the movie, Man of Steel, right? He was like just kind of jumping for a while, and then like he jumped and he crashed into a mountain, and then he finally realized he could. I guess he's jumping kind of forever, not really flying.
Right.
I don't know. He would.
Yeah.
It's a constant jump.
Yeah. He just kicked off so hard. He just can't get the momentum down.
Yeah. Eventually, he's going to stop, and then he's going to have to jump again when he wants to leave that spot.
That's right.
So let me ask you guys questions. Like I want to just kind of put this out there because, I'm not too sure if you guys are seeing it. What is it about like a woman and she's hot. You know what I mean? Like because I kind of see her. Like I look at Gal Gadot a different way because I'm so used to seeing this, and she was okay. Like she wasn't like a major player in my opinion, except for maybe a couple seasons throughout a couple films. But just seeing her do her whole Wonder Woman thing, I was like, man. So like I'm just trying to figure out like what is it about a girl like being this fighter and kicking butt and just doing all this stuff, and you just start to be like, man.
You're like, I want her to do that to me.
It's just it's the simple attraction to power.
Is have her tie me up or whatever.
All right, that goes into a different subject.
Yeah, that goes back to the psychology of the guy who made her that I was telling you about. Everybody, you heard it here first. Edwin's into bondage.
Yeah. I have to get my wife to put on a Wonder Woman suit tonight.
Yeah, I like that one. I saw like that's gonna be the #1 costume now for Halloween.
Wonder Woman, yeah.
Is it gonna be Harley Quinn? Probably not.
Yeah, I got a con coming up in July, and I'm willing to bet there's going to be way more Wonder Women there than Harley's. And there used to be Harley, and then I went to Diva, right, from Overwatch. Like there was like 50,000 of them running around, and now I'm sure it's going to be Wonder Woman.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be all like last year. It was all probably like Harley and Deadpool. This year it'll be like Wonder Woman and Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Homemade Spider-Man suit.
Homemade Spider-Man suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I don't know.
Just make sure you wear a cup.
Yeah. No, everyone.
You don't want to know what I've seen at cons.
What?
Oh,
crazy.
Not good. Not good.
Okay.
Look away.
No, not good at all.
Yeah. There's some interesting ones.
Mm-hmm.
Seeking Nearmit Comics, thanks for joining us. He said Wonder Woman movie did a great job covering her origin.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that. I mean, like you said, it would have been cool if they showed the actual making out of clay, but they really took her. Like, I guess it was their New 52 origin.
Yeah, like Azarella's origin.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole thing with Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And her killing who she kills.
Yeah.
Well, before you change subject overall, I think I'll give Wonder Woman like a CGC 8.5 white pages. Very fine plus.
Very
white
fine.
pages. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. Some people are like 9.4. I agree closer more to what Tim said from Lords of the Long Box. I think he said like a 9.2, but he was debating like a 9.0. I was kind of hanging around that 9.0 range, but I was like, you know what? It could have been a little bit better. I thought I wanted to see more fighting. I wanted to see more action. They did such a good job with that. I wanted to see more of it. And there was like a lot of slow parts to me.
Mm-hmm. there was.
throughout the film. So, it wasn't a terrible film by far. It was actually a very, very good film, but 8.5 white pages, in my opinion.
All right. Exile.
I would say overall, just because it was like the tone and everything of it, and it made me, I guess, more hopeful for future movies. I guess if we're gonna go with a slabbed rating system,
10-point scale.
All right, I'll give it 9. I'll give it a good solid 9. Like that's way higher than average. I mean, like I said, I really liked it. I want to go see it again. So,
right on.
I'm willing to pay for it twice.
It's definitely a step forward. It's definitely a step forward for DC and Warner Bros. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not the first one to say this, but I absolutely agree with it. It's the best post Christopher Nolan DC movie so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
easily.
I still like Suicide Squad, but Chris and I can debate that.
No,
at the time.
I like Suicide Squad too. But like this one, instead of like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, it felt like they would try to fit in several different stories and make one film out of several different stories. Whereas this one felt like it was they presented us a story, Yeah. And I think because of that, the movie worked way better.
There you go. Jackie gave it a 7.5. I know he was offering his thoughts in the comments through this, so definitely an interesting perspective for the movie. But I appreciate the honesty there. It's looking at it very much with the other movies in mind. The rest of the DC movies. I know one of the first things he said was it doesn't excuse the other crap that they put out. So that I do agree with. But I did my review. I think I put it up yesterday maybe, and I gave it a 9.0. I liked the movie a lot. I really liked most of the casting. Like I said before, I had an issue with David Thewlis. In my mind, he'll always be that Harry Potter guy. I had an issue with the third act and the overusage of the CGI and kind of falling back on that formula. And then, like Edwin said, a little bit with the pacing as well. But the action, the costumes, the acting was really on point as well for me. I know that, with the whole accent thing, that was kind of off-putting for some people. But I thought it was cool that they paid so much attention to the detail that they made the rest of the Amazonians have an Israeli accent as well, and that became that accent, right? So that was pretty cool. But I gave it a good solid 9.0. And
a fair grade. Gomez says a 9.8 after a pressing. And I'll say that the movie definitely needs to be pressed. That's for sure.
Yeah, I guess let's do a 5-point. I gave it a 4 and a quarter on a 5-point scale. That's what most of the critics choose.
Glad you brought that up because I was thinking the same thing. Because usually when I grade a movie, it's on a 5-point scale, and I was like a 3.5 out of 5. Okay. And I was thinking about, I was like, well, does it really deserve a 7 or 7.5 when it comes to a grading scale, sliding scale? I'd probably give it like a very fine plus. So,
yeah, there was I forget who it was. Somebody gave it a 7.9, and everyone was like, "Really? You couldn't just do 8.0? 7.9? Right. You just really had to just insist on the 7."
Jeez.
But how about you, Justin? 5-point scale.
I guess that would equate to a 4.5.
4.5. All right. Very good. Cool. So I guess the next movie we're looking forward to is Spidey, right?
Yeah.
In July.
Homecoming.
So that'll be the next one. We'll be talking about that in the future. But this is the part of the show where we talk about books for mañana, books for tomorrow. So we got, I mean, I know last week was a 5th week, right? So pretty light.
Yep.
But I kind of feel like this week is pretty light too. I mean, I got some things I'm looking forward to and, on my list, but not like a huge amount, to be honest with you. So,
same for me. Quality over quantity this week.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things I do want to mention. First off, we have Darth Vader #1. And I know a lot of people are looking at that Mark Brooks at 1 in 50. That looks like a older sort of cover. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know what the price point will be on that, but you got to keep in mind with that there is going to be a ton of them. There are so many like store exclusive variants for it, not just the ones from the publisher. And every time, like the minimum order on those is like 3,000 or 4,000 copies, right?
Yeah.
So you think for a 1 in 50, which is the ratio for the Mark Brooks cover, you're looking at, a good 60 or so of those for each of the retailers that have like, tons of these. So it's interesting. I learned it recently that the people who do the store exclusives qualify for the incentives and stuff. So there's going to be more out there than you think. So I don't know what the normal print run is, but it's definitely going to inflate the numbers for this. So if you like it, great, get it. But I don't think it's going to hold any sort of long-term value. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I did read Vader Down, which was very good. Read a few other Star Wars issues after that, which look, don't get me wrong. I think the writing in most of the Star Wars books are actually really, really good. I'm just not a huge fan of Star Wars. So that's why I don't really continue on. But, Darth Vader #1, everybody's going to, you might get people to jump on that bandwagon with that 1 in 50. Like Tim always says, best thing to do, if you get one, get it, throw it on eBay right away. Don't sit there and hold it thinking it's going to be worth. Like Jesse says, it probably ain't going to be worth. It might hold a $10 value, a year or 2 years down the road. But I could definitely see the inflation and definitely see that book from what it's going to be at after the first couple of days.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you get it, either sell it quick or keep it for a while. How about, do you guys like Heathen? I know that I've been reading that book. Justin, I know you are.
Yep.
Right?
Hopefully my shop has pulled issue 4 for me.
Yep. Now, there are 2 covers for it. Are you getting both or just one?
Crap. No.
It's a 1 for 5 ratio on that.
It'll just see. I mean, I know they don't order a whole bunch, so they only probably got one of the variant cover.
Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, you're still good with that. It's been fun. It's been a good read so far.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's a very impressive series from a company I'd never heard of before.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, Vault, were you talking about the Australian slab company?
No.
They're #1 down under.
And then I was happy to hear this, and I haven't seen him on a Big 2 book in a while, and that's Greg Horn. He's been doing, for a while now. Like, he used to do quite a bit, right? With, oh God, he did like She-Hulk, he did Mystique, Emma Frost, a whole bunch of them. And then, he was kind of off for a while, did some store exclusives, but now he's kind of, it seems like he's getting back to it. So he has a 1 in 25 coming out for Zombies Assemble #2, which I believe has Black Widow on the cover. She's like crouched down. Looks really good, and I really dig Greg Horn's art. So that's definitely one to look for. And I know that a lot of people are talking about it, so you might want to, if you do want that, call ahead. Call in the morning when the shop opens up, or get there early, because I think that one's going to sell out.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Also tomorrow begins our Mary Jane variants.
That's right.
So I will more than likely be getting the Daredevil Mary Jane variant, just because it looks pretty.
Like, cool. Is this like Mary Jane verse? Like,
yeah,
she's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Or something?
Well, they're doing. It's basically a Mary Jane anniversary tribute month.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's the occasion?
Mary Jane.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's her 50th anniversary or something like that.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's. Yeah, I can see that.
So wait, last month they did all the Venom covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
This month they're doing all the Mary Jane and some Venom, and next month or the end of this month it's going to be Venomized Mary Jane stuff. You see, a lot of that, like Mary Jane is like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. You can never have too much venom, in my opinion. I think Adam would agree. Adam says Spawn's coming out tomorrow.
Honest. The last issue of Reborn. So I'm excited. I'm excited that that's coming out. I'm not excited that the series is ending.
With Greg Capullo, you mean?
Hiatus for a while, huh?
Yeah, Capullo.
Yeah.
Is that issue 6 or 7?
6.
6. Oh, wow. Okay.
They changed it, and so now it's 6 of 6.
That's right.
Yeah, but they didn't get that movie deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Baby Teeth?
I read the synopsis for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
She has like evil in her womb, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'll check it out. I'm not going to go. There's a whole ton of variants for that one as well, and the store exclusives. But I'm just going to go with the regular cover on that one.
What else is?
Although I think it's Elizabeth Torque. It looks pretty nice. Edwin.
Yo.
Batman 24.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to say that. You guys are like all over in Indieverse and that in right now. Everybody needs to pick up Batman number. Is it 23? 22? 24. Pick up Batman 24. Kind of flipped through it at my shop today, and the very last page, very last panel.
Don't give it away.
Buy both covers.
Jaw dropper. So I'll just say that. I didn't get to see too much of what's coming out tomorrow because our
I know where you
didn't bring a box, so we only got like half of our shipment. So I didn't get a chance to see what else is coming out. But Batman 24 is definitely a must read in my opinion.
Also, the final issue of Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. Finally.
Oh yeah.
5 years later. 1.5 years later.
Was that 2 years? Yeah.
So long. Just have it.
Is anybody even reading that?
I mean,
I gave up after like 3 issues.
No, I bought them all. I have them all, but crap. It's
Did you get the hardcovers or the one of the regular ones?
I'm getting the regular whatever covers.
Okay.
Whatever, but it's not good.
Why are you getting it?
Because I want to have it.
It's $6 or whatever it is, $5.99, right?
Well, there's only one left.
Okay.
It's so bad I have to see the end so I can properly make fun of it.
Yeah. One of the worst covers of the past 5 years, or at least, has got to be that Frank Miller drawing of Wonder Woman. You know which cover I'm talking about? Where she's crouched down and her head's I don't know.
No, but I'm about to go look.
Yeah, it's horrible. God, it's horrible. Oh man. Speaking of art, there's a guy that I like named Warren Lowe. He did a really nice cover for Harley Quinn #1. He has a very sort of art germ style to him, anime, digital, really polished sort of anime look to the characters he draws. And he's got there's an issue. I think Art Germ did the variant or a variant for issue 1. It was Street Fighter versus the Dark Stalkers.
Oh no!
Right. So Art Germ did a cover for that, and Warren Lowe's doing one for issue #2, which comes out tomorrow. So that's one that I would get just for the cover. Honestly, looks really nice, and I really dig his art style. So
yeah, that Frank Miller is pretty bad.
You see it?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
She's
horrible.
got the baby on her back. She's got a baby or whatever.
Yeah, he used to be so good. I don't know what happened to that guy. Man,
that dude might. I'm just guessing, but just looking at how rapidly he's aged, I wouldn't doubt if he's a heavy drinker, a heavy drinker.
Because he's got some shake to it.
The guy's just, I don't know. I mean, what is he? He's not in his 70s, is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's got to be. No one can tell because he's always got that big hat on hiding himself.
Because he's bald.
To me, he reminds me of Robert Englund. He looks like Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or they're brothers.
That's true. Yeah, they do look a lot alike. Ramiro called him Freddy the Cougar.
Yeah. So y'all are not gonna get Iceman #1? Gonna pass on Iceman? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fit Nova. They're giving Nova ends issue #7. Yay.
Okay. Wait, let's take a bet here. We always do the opening weekend stuff. Let's take a bet on how long that Iceman book will last. I'm saying 5 issues.
Oh yeah.
They talk about cutting issues and then they bring Iceman. Only after they brought Jean Grey's solo issue. So I guess it makes sense. X-Men will have their own solo issue.
But that's just stupid. They're not focusing on
I want to see
the people that we actually do want to see. They're giving literally everybody their own title, and that's just I don't know what they're thinking.
Obviously, it's not working. They keep canceling them and like starting up new ones. They're like, well, maybe they'll like this character. No, okay. Well, how about this one? No, oh, this one.
Yeah, exactly. Comically Flawed said the last 4 issues. Seeking Nearmint, also 4, and then Mr. Unknown said 2 issues.
Yeah, we need to try to track it. I would like to see like what issue 1 sales are of that issue versus issue 2 sales. You know, like see what the drop off is.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, Justin.
Because they're actually like for a #1 from Marvel, there's like half as many normal variants as there would be.
Is it a $5 book?
Oh, I'm sure.
That's just cold.
It's an issue #1, I'm sure. Oh,
see what I did there?
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be like maybe I'm gonna say 35 to 40,000 issues #1
for #1. Yeah,
and then the next one is gonna be like
22,
30, 25, 30. And then it's just going to fall off the earth after that. I mean, in my opinion, why, unless you're just going to support his newfound gayness?
Do they need a whole book just to say that?
I just don't see any reason to give him a solo series.
No.
He's always been a supporting character. Like, he's never really been like a team leader as far as I remember. Or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't really, it's not like because he's gay or whatever. It's just, I don't feel compelled to read about him. To me, he's always the background guy, the other guy on the team, you know?
Right. Now, the coolest Iceman was the future Iceman that showed up at the beginning of like Bendis's X-Men run. Like all new Marvel Now 1. Where he, like, so when the all new X-Men came from the past, then you also had this group of X-Men from the future come in, and Iceman was one of those, but he was like this big like ice monster.
Wasn't it like all spiky?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
that was the coolest version of Iceman ever. That should be the Iceman book.
I mean, Iceman has had a good history. I mean, I remember in the '90s when he found out that he could increase his powers, and he just got to the point to where he just always stayed frozen. He never turned into Bobby. And, he had some interesting storylines, but like Jesse said, he was always kind of his story developed side character, I guess, throughout the X-Men series. But to devote, I mean, maybe if you go back to Spider-Man and his Super Friends when he was a part of that, I don't know. What do they have? Human Torch and
it's Firestar.
Iceman and Spider-Man. So no Human Torch was in that? Well,
yeah, it was Firestar.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not buying it. So
yeah, I'm not either. I think it's a really weak attempt for an X-Men book. And even if you look at what they did with America Chavez, like how that character is written in the Ultimates versus how her series came out, like not the same character at all. Written completely different. Written for just one like point of view type, I guess I don't know. So I hope that's not what they do with Iceman, but I'm not going to check it out to find out.
Yeah. And Undisputed Frost is here. He does make a good point, and we've been talking about this, but his story, he's never, like we say, he's always that background character. So nobody's really, until Bendis, really kind of taken the time to dig a little bit deeper into just who he is, his backstory, his motivations, how powerful he can be. You know what I mean? So he says he likes that Iceman is gay, and it lets more of the story be told and brings the character out from the shadows. Right. So it is true.
The reason why I brought it up is just because Marvel's pushing that down people's throats, and a lot of people don't care to hear about it. I mean, they don't want their characters to be women or gay and all this other stuff. And so to me, I just said that I only see Marvel using it as just another way to push that agenda down people's throat. That's it. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have a good story, good background or whatever, but I just couldn't find any logical reason to give Iceman his own solo story. That's all.
Yeah. No, it's true. I think they could tell the story. That's perfectly fine to me. But I don't think that it needs its own book to be explored. Right? They can still kind of touch on that narrative in the team book,
I wouldn't have bought an Iceman book in the 90s. So I'm not going to buy it now.
Yeah.
In the 90s, you might have been able to get me almost with like a hollow foil cover or something neat, But that ain't happening now. So.
I do have one Iceman book. It was a one shot that they did. They did a lot of like the X-Men origins for like Deadpool, and they did one for Iceman as well. So to have that full set, you have to have that Iceman one shot. But I think that's the only one I have, or the only one that was made.
Yeah, I think it's just you.
Chat.
You're the only one that has that book. It's worth $1 million.
Probably, yeah. There's a print run of one, and I got it.
One. All the rest were destroyed in a fire. The boat sank. Something happened.
Yeah. Comically Flawed said he is not buying Iceman unless it's Val Kilmer. I like that. Top Gun book. I'm liking it. And then Mr. Unknown said he'd rather see a legless Flash Thompson. That would be more interesting to him. Yeah. Make Iceman a serial killer or something original. Yeah, that would be interesting. So yeah, a lot of different possibilities. Like we said, that his backstory hasn't really been explored, so they could kind of take it anywhere.
They could. I don't think they're going to. I don't think it's going to be a book where Iceman has like adventures and explores his powers and gets stronger. It's going to be like
Ice Venom in space.
Right. It's going to be like, what does Iceman do on his day off?
Yeah. Going to the grocery store. Yeah. He's cooling down his soda.
Iceman went out to the club, or
he's playing volleyball with Maverick.
Like just random normal stuff, and you're just like, nope. This is not why I buy comics.
Well, one of the things I've always liked about Iceman is, for the most part, they've always given him a sense of humor, which is a good dynamic to have in a character, because X-Men and superheroes, for the most part, are serious. I think Deadpool obviously takes it to the extreme, but that's a Deadpool, Harley Quinn, etc. But I think giving some humor to Iceman makes him a little bit more lighthearted, I guess. So, and I think of Johnny Storm as well, who's always trying to be funny and always mess with Spider-Man and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, they could play off of each other. They could have Ghost Rider show up. Yeah. Do like the whole negative Ghost Rider thing.
Yeah, freeze Ghost Rider's head, and so his head doesn't catch on fire. That'd be funny.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's all the books we got for coming out tomorrow. So if you're going to pick up Iceman, if you're watching this after it's live, let us know in the comments. And if you read it, let us know what you thought of it.
Yeah.
Be curious what you think. I hear music in the background.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. I was thinking it. So let's go around and do some final shout-outs and thoughts and all that good stuff. So why don't we start, since Edwin's on mute, why don't we start with Exile?
So, just big shout outs and thanks to everybody that showed up in the chat because that thing's been going crazy. Everybody. Everybody that's up in there. But, a lot of good discussion this week. And I'm not sure what's going to happen. Like you were saying, this week looks pretty light for the haul. So we'll see how that's going to go. I'm not really upset about that. I'm actually really happy about that because I've been having a lot more fun digging from back issues than picking up new books right now. So probably some more Uncanny X-Men in my near future.
There you go. Yeah, Chris isn't here, Buckshot 33, but he always says in the light weeks, at least pick up one back issue while you're there. So I'll say that for him today.
Yeah.
All right, Edwin.
Yeah, if anybody's still around toward the end here, check out my live auction, affordable auction number 2, coming up this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I got a lot of, I even found some more books actually just before I got on the show. That's why I was even later than I wanted to be. Got into this massive collection. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. I call it an affordable auction because I try not to have anything over $100. So definitely check that out if anybody's interested. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great week. If you haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, please go out and see it. Formulate your own opinion. Thanks about that movie as well.
Absolutely. And I would give the round of applause, but they freaking took that feature away from us. Damn it. Thanks for everybody in the chat for being here once again. I see Buckshot. Thumbs up, man. I don't want to run through all the names, but I've been shouting them out throughout the show here. Thanks for being here. Questions. You see that about Ramiro? All good stuff. Really great topics tonight. We get a lot of stuff to talk about next week too. I've already got some topics waiting for that. So check out, let us know what you're getting for books tomorrow. Check out Celestial Falcon from Last Jedi Press.
Yeah, support the community.
That's right. These guys are in our community. They have their own YouTube channel. They do their own stuff with their book and their publishing house, but they also do hauls and reviews and a lot of really cool stuff around that as well. So they are an active part of the community. So thumbs up to them for that. But that's going to do it, guys. This is episode 43, Comic Conversation. It's been another fun Tuesday night, but we got to go. So we'll see you.
Bye, you guys.